DRL, the Drone Racing League. Tonight, our 12 pilots continue to push all limits to shake up the season standings. The track may be virtual, but the physics, the controller movements, and the racing are real.
Yes, let's go, baby!
This is Drone Racing.
Oh boy.
This is DRL. Welcome to the 2021 DRL World Championship, the premier international drone racing circuit. This is Level 10, Kingdom, the second sim event of our hybrid season. DRL is the only sport where the champion must dominate in both real life and virtual racing. After 9 levels of racing, the season standings look like this. Our 2019 world champion Vanover is still in the lead with 57 points, but our defending champion Heads Up has closed the gap and is just 1 point behind in second place.
Even though now Heads Up is only 1 point behind me, I'm just focusing on myself. I just need to make sure that I'm racing much better in the simulator than I was in Level 9 in order to keep the season lead and win the championship.
I think we're going to see a big shakeup in the top 3 of the season standings. As good of a pilot as Vanover is IRL, I don't think the sim is his strong suit. We saw a little bit of that last week, and we still have 4 more levels of that to compete.
Coming off of second place in Level 9, definitely not where I want to be. Amari is my longest-standing rival on the DRL sim from last season, and I want to get him back.
Hello everybody, I'm Craig Hummer, joined by drone racing expert Tony Niddle, as well as 2018 DRL World Champion Paul Nurkala. Guys, today we could see a shakeup on 2 separate fronts, the overall season leader and the pilots who will eventually battle it out for the level win. Paul, I'll go to you first.
Based on Heads Up's skills on the simulator and the fact that he's only trailing Vanover by a single point, I predict that Heads Up is going to finish at least 2 positions higher than Vanover, giving him the overall season lead here at Kingdom.
TK, I know you've studied this course extensively. Great chance we'll see a different 6 battling it out in the finals.
Yeah, I think so. Coming from last week's wide open sweeping track to an unforgiving one that goes from 0 to 90 and back to 0 in no time. Well, the pilots that struggled on last week's track may find themselves doing better on this week's tighter one. So we could see a bunch of fresh faces in the finals.
The 2021 season consists of 14 levels of racing, 9 IRL and 5 virtual races on the DRL simulator. The pilots earn season points based on their overall level finish. The pilot with the most points after 14 levels is the 2021 DRL World Champion. All 12 pilots race each level. They're seeded into 2 semifinal groups, with the top 3 from each advancing to the finals. There, the winner of the Golden Heat will be your level champion. Each heat is 2 laps around this Kingdom track. TK, take us through it.
Pilots take off up to the Sky Gate, then down through the City Gate. They turn at the Square Gate and whip around the T-Mobile Tower. Then it's through the vertical U-turn, the Diamond Gate, and up to the Dragonfly Roof Gate. They dive through the Penny Gate before tackling the Switchback and T-Mobile Tunnel. Pilots ascend to the Sky Gate and onto lap 2, or head to the finish gate.
There are 2 sections that make up a very critical part of the course. Going into the vertical U-turn and then into the Diamond Gate and exiting the Diamond Gate, you can approach them at just even the slightest angle off, and your drone will slow down significantly in comparison to the right line. But if you can find that sweet spot and ride that wave, you can pull away from the pack really well.
Here in the semifinals, they fly 3 regular heats, with each heat winner automatically advancing to the finals. Everyone else is subject to sudden death, where only the winner is guaranteed to advance. Then points leaders, Vanover and Heads Up, are both here in semifinal 1. TK, they're the big names, but who are your picks to make it to the finals out of these 6 pilots?
Well, Craig, if you look at last week's performance, Heads Up and Alex FPV are extreme favorites to advance, but this is a different course, and the real question right now is, can Vanover beat out Sky and the others to advance to the finals? Because if he doesn't, he will lose the overall season lead.
Let's meet our pilots and the colors they will fly here in semifinal number 1. We start with the two besties, both in Tennessee. Heads Up, our defending DRL world champion, flies light blue, and Alex FPV, also in Tennessee, flies blue. We've got Sky in Colorado flying lime green. And to complement our blue armada, Miwo in California flies dark blue. Vanover, the 2019 DRL world champion, flies silver, and Soren in Minnesota flies orange. Semi-final 1, Heat 1. Conquering the Kingdom starts now as they all go for the Sky Gate. Very quickly, you've got Alex FPV in blue, Heads Up in light blue. They're your top two around the City Gate. Now they'll go left through the Square Gate, right turn around the T-Mobile Tunnel, and then everyone's talked about this Algorand Vertical U. Coming out of it, Alex FPV still in the lead.
Oh, look at Sky pressing, though, on the best part of the course through the passing momentum sections.
Already down to the Allianz Pentagate, cleanly through. As they sweep through the switchback, now it's the T-Mobile Tunnel. Alex in blue, Heads Up light blue, Sky in green as they're on to lap number 2.
It's a Sky and Heads Up's opportunity right here through the City Gate. Take it tight to the inside and be ready for the next turn and advance on him.
All these turns set up maneuvers for the next one. You've got the Algorand Vertical U. Alex a slight lead ahead of Sky, but Heads Up not giving anything away. Those top 3, nothing separating them.
Alex is on another one right now, Craig. He is hitting every line exactly as he should.
Switch back again. That will set up the T-Mobile Tunnel for one final time. Alex and Heads Up, both in colors and shades of blue. There's your left turn to the finish. This first heat, who's it going to go to? It's close, but Alex takes it.
Oh, baby! Oh!
Yeah.
Controller checks ready? Sometimes you just got to prove it to yourself you meant to be here, you know?
That's it, Alex. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Let's send it to the 4th member of our team,
Yes, sir, it's
Layla
ready.
Anna Lee.
Well, it's wanted more than ever, Kenny. More than ever.
Alex, fantastic. I'm going to take that line that you just screamed down your microphone and use it because I loved it. Sometimes you've got to prove it to yourself. How important is it for you to prove it to yourself here on a race like that was quite tight?
You know, that's, to me, you go week after week. We had the big race last weekend. I got on the podium as a rookie. You know, I'm constantly just trying to prove my right to be here. So, you know, I think I proved it to everybody else last week, but the practice time leading up to here, I wasn't 100% sure of myself. You know, when I feel like I'm going to do really well, it's this confidence that I have, and before this race, I just didn't necessarily have that. So I'm trying to bring that back, and that's all I needed right there. I feel so much better about it, and I'm finally just ready to race.
Good man. I love hearing the chat between the pilots as well. Sky asking you, how was your heart rate through that? Can you let us know how it went for you?
Oh, man, the first one's the worst one for sure, but I think there's two different people. When you start getting that on the edge feeling, some people are scared of it and some people just ride it, and we definitely did. Me and Heads Up, we like to get the energy going, and that's all it takes right there. One good 1 and 2, and I'm sure it's going to be a fun time to watch.
A fantastic first heat. Well done.
Thank you.
All these pilots know winning is a great way to build confidence. Alex takes Heat 1 about 0.2 of a second ahead of Heads Up. That winning time, 1:15.568.
Well, guys, that was an insanely close battle between the top 3 guys. The most complicated maneuver on this entire course is the vertical U-turn. You can see these guys all are basically coming upside down, making that hard left turn, and coming out through it. And all 3 of them are in a close contention here at this point in the race. Fast forward all the way to the end, they kept that same 1-2-3 punch. Sky went from 2nd to 3rd, but in the end, it was Alex FPV that edged out Heads Up over the course of the race and took the heat win.
Winning not only builds confidence, it is the only way to get to the finals. After that Heat 1 win, we know Alex FPV will be there. TK, this year's hybrid season has the pilots racing both IRL and in the sim. What's the difference?
You know, the DRL Sim is the most realistic quadcopter flight simulator available, using a proprietary true-to-life physics engine. Now, the flight characteristics and the controller movements are one-to-one with real-life drones. The two biggest differences racing in the sim are no mid-air collisions and perfect vision. In real life, mid-airs often change the outcome of a heat, and the analog video feeds they use to fly are never perfect. Now, this means they can fly right at the absolute limits of drone performance in the sim, where they have to leave a little margin in real life.
Alex may have the finish in his future, but who'll earn the other 2 spots? We'll find out, starting when Heat 2 starts after this.
The Algorand ecosystem is where monumental change takes shape. So come transform the world with us on Algorand.
We're here at the training facility with Gotham FC, and for the very first time, we're going to have the FPV drone on the field with the players as they're training. We're hoping to get some really unique shots and something you've never seen before.
The Drone Racing League, brought to you by Algorand, the world's first blockchain designed for the future of finance. By Allianz, the global leader in asset management, investments, and insurance. And by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G network. Welcome back to Level 10 Kingdom. We're 1 heat into our first semifinal, and Alex FPV has already qualified for the finals. TK, another heat, right, where Alex and Heads Up were close. But I want to ask you, did you see anything or anywhere in particular where Heads Up can either make a move or change something to get that win?
Yeah, actually I did, but these guys are relatively close. Sky included, only a second or so back, Vanover a little further, but if these guys want a chance to take Alex out, they're going to have to take him at his strong point, and his strong point right now is through that vertical U-turn. He's actually continuing to gain some space between him and the pack through that section, so if they can pull that section a little tighter than him and set up on a better preparation to it, I think they can take him coming out.
Semifinal 1, Heat 2. Commanding respect is always easier from the front. They're through the Sky Gate, now down to the City Gate. Heads Up and Alex FPV switching the lead around the City Gate.
Oh, it's the same 3, Craig. These guys are on top of each other, but look, Alex continued to lead. This is that section I'm talking about. You gotta cut it tighter than Alex.
They've talked about the vertical U to the Diamond Gate. Now they go up to the Dragonfly Roof Gate. You've got Alex FPV in blue, Heads Up in light blue, Sky in green, all right there.
Oh, there's an opportunity. Alex swung really low. He allowed them to advance closer to him.
The T-Mobile Tunnel on to lap number 2, so they head up to the Sky Gate yet again. Seems like it's the same as Heat 1, where you've got Alex FPV in blue for the moment in the lead. They'll now make the right turn around the T-Mobile Tower, back to that Algorand vertical U-turn. Again, Alex fighting off his challenger.
Greg, we're seeing that separation from Alex and the rest of the pack, but take a look at Sky in green. He's gotten ahead of Heads Up, and he's only got a couple of turns left here.
This is the switchback. You've got Alex in blue, Sky in green in second through the T-Mobile Tunnel again. Last time up to the Sky Gate. This time it's a left turn. It's all Alex for the second heat in a row. He's 2 for 2.
This prop damage is crazy, dude.
I did
I clipped the city gate and lost so much damage.
I hit at the diamond gate. Oh man.
Dang it.
Guy, good to chat to you. Now, we saw you in that first heat chasing them down. We saw you getting closer here. What's working for you and how further can you go?
I think I've got a lot to improve on this track. It's pretty technical. There's a lot of really tight sections that come after long straightaways. So it's easy to get sort of entranced in just the speed, and then all of a sudden, oh, you got to be doing something. So I'm trying to figure that out. The Diamond Gate especially is one where I'm getting caught off on the second lap. So I need to clean that up, and then maybe I'll be able to get some wins.
Sky, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Alex's second win means we will definitely have a sudden death, and for the moment, he still is the only pilot to assure himself a spot in the finals. Miwo is in his second season of DRL, but has been racing drones for many years. Throughout, his biggest fan and greatest supporter has been his mom.
I have a really good relationship with my mom. She has been one who really pushed me to pursue this. Contrary to, I think, what a lot of people's parents would have told them, she was like, it's just school. You can always come back to it. Do the drone racing.
Around the T-Mobile Tower, Miwo will win sudden death.
Oh, finally!
He makes me very proud. He's very focused on doing what he loves, and he's been very successful. I think it's important to expose our kids to a lot of different things. The way I look at it is you're only young one time. Try to remove all the other distractions and be able to focus on it so you can be good at it. I tried to support him as much as I could so he could go after his dream, and drone racing was his dream.
She always recognized that I was really passionate about it, and she was really the encouraging voice I needed to put more effort into it and take that leap and start chasing drone racing.
I wanted to provide an environment where he could just focus on following his passions, focus on racing drones, focus on being the best at what it is that he loved to do. And I did. I worked my butt off so that could happen.
Level up your drone skills on the DRL Sim on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and Epic Games. Alex has got his A game going on. Can anyone step up to challenge him? Heat 3 is next. Welcome to the premier international drone racing circuit. This is DRL, the Drone Racing League.
We've teamed up with Drone Racing League to fuel 5G innovation in two fast-growing markets, drones and tech-powered sports.
T-Mobile is building the largest, fastest, most reliable 5G network in the country. And DRL is building a new sport that depends on using innovative technology to create an audience experience like no one has ever seen before.
In the past, the analog video that's come through is not very clear and not very clean. With T-Mobile 5G wireless technology, we get a crystal clear image. Now that the field test has proven to be a success, it's time to build a fleet of these drones and take them to DRL races and T-Mobile events and really show the world what this drone can do.
This is just the beginning, and I can't wait to see this 5G drone take flight.
This is DRL, the Drone Racing League. Welcome back to Level 10 Kingdom. We're 2 heats into semifinal 1, and only Alex FPV has qualified for the finals. TK, heads up. is one heat away from being headed to sudden death, and that basically happens once every blue moon.
Yeah, this is a critical moment for him. He's really got to step things up here in Heat 3 if he wants to avoid that. But Alex is doing a great job keeping him at bay and forcing these guys into a sudden death. I would imagine Heads Up's feeling the pressure from the speed of his friend Alex and how he's having trouble catching him. But, you know, there's also the other factor, which he mentioned the crashing before. He nicked something in that last race, caused some prop damage, and that slowed him down tremendously. So he's got to keep himself away from those close edges and play things a little safer if you want to make it to the end without damage.
Semi-final 1, Heat 3. Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. They're through the Sky Gate. Now they drop down to the City Gate. These critical first maneuvers set up those pressure situations that TK and Paul have been talking about. Now they'll get ready for that right turn around the T-Mobile Tower. And of course, it's the vertical U-turn. Alex FPV, Heads Up light blue. They're fighting for that first.
Well, if the pressure wasn't big before, it's even bigger now, knowing that he keeps seeing Alex in his face. That's Heads Up I'm talking about. But look, Craig, he's got the pass.
That's right, Heads Up in light blue, a slight lead, but Alex FPV, surges.
Oh.
Is it enough to take the lead? It is as they start lap number 2. They're around and through the City Gate. They'll drop down, to the City Gate with, you've got Alex in blue, Heads Up in light blue on top of each other.
Craig, these guys don't even realize they're this close. They can just maybe hear each other, but they can't see each other. They only see,
Heads Up, my friend, has taken himself out again. Heads Up clearly in front. That has allowed Vanover in silver. This is the closest he's been to first throughout this semifinal. The switchback, it'll be the T-Mobile tunnel. Closing moments of this heat, and Alex is going for the sweep. There's your left turn. Pull out the broom in this first semifinal. Alex wins them all.
Okay, can I queue out?
That's rough. I gave that
1,
that was
2,
everything.
3.
GG, Alex. Good race. Man,
Yeah,
you
as well.
You killed me.
As well.
Oh my goodness.
Heads Up, we're seeing you and Alex toying with each other, and then what went wrong?
Yeah, going into that vertical U-turn, I knew I had the lead, and I knew Alex was right on my tail. He's obviously super hot, so I had to take it tight. Took it a little bit too tight, got stuck in the gate. But now we're in sudden death. There's 2 spots open. Vanover is, me and Vanover right on top of each other as far as season points goes, so my job is to move on and hopefully keep him out of that finals.
You've mentioned sudden death. How does that feel with the pressure on you in that round?
Well, I mean, the pressure's always there. Sudden death definitely amplifies that, but this is where champions are made, so I'm going to try and perform at my best when it counts.
We look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Heads Up saying all the right things, but meanwhile, it's his friend Alex who's doing all the right things. He wins his 3rd heat in a row. His time, 118.052.
Well, that battle between Heads Up and Alex was insanely close for the entire race. They went back and forth and changed the lead, but it all took a downhill turn here at the vertical U-turn when Heads Up cut it just a little bit too tight, crashing and letting Alex out into the lead. I think that this heat is actually going to be a big opportunity for Vanover because he's being forced into the sudden death, and he had a chance to run clean and get some practice heading into that final round.
All just mentioned sudden death. We're a moment away from that, but let's highlight again the success that Alex has enjoyed. 3 first. That means we will have 5 pilots fighting for those 2 spots to advance. One of the biggest challenges on this course is the vertical U-turn. TK, give us a closer look, presented by the U.S. Air Force.
The vertical U-turn is the most technical element on the course, requiring pilots to fly from bottom to top through 2 stacked gates, followed by an immediate sharp left turn. Pilots reduce speed as they approach the bottom gate by dropping throttle and pitching back slightly. They then rotate the drone 180 degrees while elevating under full throttle and a precise mix of yaw, pitch, and roll, turning left as they pass through the top gate. The best line requires pilots to enter low with controlled speed, then pass tight to the gate and accelerate on the exit. Entering the bottom gate with too much speed will cause the drone to swing wide, halting their momentum and increasing their distance flown.
TK, buddy, let's just put our fan hats on for a second, right? This is the fight we wanted to see.
Yeah.
Heads Up and Vanover. We're just used to seeing it in the finals.
Look, this is huge, Craig. I don't know if you realize it, but this guy's only been in, and I'm talking about Heads Up, he's only been in one sudden death. The last time was in level 6, Beale Street, and he was going up against Fluxy and Soren. But this time, he's going in against Sky and Vanover, and that is huge. Heads Up said in his interviews to us that he was concerned about Alex and Amari. Well, Alex being in this group said they're at the top of the game, and so that's obviously playing a factor here. But he's going into sudden death against Sky and Vanover. They're going to put up a huge fight against him, and I think Sky might just fare a little better.
Semi-final 1, sudden death. Forget trying to fake it in this sport. 5 take flight, only 2 will advance. Already dropping down to the city gate. You've got an early lead for Sky and Green, but Heads Up and Light Blue has moved to the front.
This is what Heads Up needs. He wants that clean air out front. He wants to lead the way. He wants 0 distractions around him so that he can focus on the best line on the course.
Up to the Dragonfly roof gate. You've still got Heads Up and Light Blue there. Sky and Green. Remember, the top 2 advance. Vanover and Silver's in that 3rd position. He's got to find a way to get into the top 2.
Pay attention to Sky and the green drone. Watch him on some of these turns. He has found a way to get a little bit tighter through some of them and allowing himself to close the gap between him and first.
Vanover has had an accident. He is gone. There probably is no finals in his future. Heads Up doesn't know, doesn't care. As he's through that Algorand, Vertical U, now through the Diamond Gate, up to the Dragonfly roof gate. Heads Up just in front of Sky and Green.
Heads Up does have a bit of a slow section back there. Sky tried to capitalize it, but he can't get him through this back half of the course. Heads Up is faster right here.
T-Mobile Tunnel will go up to the Skygate one final time. 2 spots up for grabs. Heads Up and Sky are in those first 2 positions. This is to advance to the finals. Heads Up and Sky are moving on.
There it is. Woo. A podium loss again, dude. It's always a podium loss. Why?
He wasn't leaving. I knew it. I knew it. I felt it.
It's always a podium loss, man.
He wasn't going down like that.
I ain't going down. I ain't going down.
Heads Up and Sky join us now. Firstly, Heads Up, it's not often that we see you in a sudden death situation, but you made that look easy.
Well, yeah, the pressure is definitely on. I love the pressure. I feel like it makes me perform even better, and it's even more rewarding. So, like, when it feels like there's not as many stakes in the line, it's a little bit harder to get in the zone. But when those stakes are on the line and you feel that pressure, the reward is even bigger.
And Sky, you took the first few heats almost as if you had to read the course and learn your opponents, but you made it there in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, these guys are the best in the world. The last thing I want is Heads Up and a sudden death, because you get his heartbeat up and he starts flying his best. So, you know, I'm just trying to hang in there, make it to finals so I can make some moves.
And you both did. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Both personalities showing right there. Heads Up wins sudden death, 1/10 in front of Sky, 115.78.
Well, missing out on the finals is huge. It has even bigger ramifications for Vanover in that letting Heads Up advance to finals gives him, at worst case scenario, a tie for the season championship standings. Now, that gave Sky and Heads Up the opportunity to then race cleanly for that victory, and the 2 of them battled back and forth, just kind of working together and making sure that they both made it in ahead of Miwo to advance into finals.
Our 3 pilots who will advance out of semifinal number 1, Alex FPV, Heads Up, and Sky. So our first 3 are set. Basically, the favorites have advanced. Our semifinal 2 pilots will get their chance next.
is 70% water and 30% land. But the entire sky belongs to us.
Copy that. Aim high, Airman.
The Drone Racing League, brought to you by Algorand, the world's first blockchain designed for the future of finance. By Allianz, the global leader in asset management, investments, and insurance. And by Dragonfly, leaders in drone innovation. Welcome back to Level 10 Kingdom. As we just saw, 3 pilots have already qualified for the finals, and 3 more spots are now up for grabs as we get set for semifinal number 2. TK, last week's champion Amari is in this group. Now, not only is he coming off the level win, but he never finished worse than second in any heat. Now, I think that clearly makes him the favorite.
Yeah, Amari has proven that his raw skills in the sim are second to none. What we have seen in this is that because the margins are so tiny in the sim, when he is feeling fully confident, he is unstoppable. When he questions himself, he is vulnerable. But right now, after last week, he is highly confident, and that makes him dangerous.
Let's welcome back in the most confident member of our team, 2018 DRL World Champion Paul Nurkala. Nurk, with Amari feeling this confident, what effect does that have on the rest of the pilots in this group?
Hey, when you're in semifinals, the only thing that matters is advancing to finals. And when you're facing down a sim superstar like Amari, I think, in my experience, usually what you're going to do is focus on that sudden death, right? It's a foregone conclusion that Amari is going to move on. So the rest of the guys just have to decide, how am I going to prepare for that race against the other 3?
Well, Paul, we agree that Amari is going to make it to the finals, but who else in this group do you think is going to advance?
It's tough to say. I mean, you've got a sim champion in Halo Walker. You've got the long-term confidence of Gab 707. Nub, when he's hot, he is on, and when he's cold, it's off. You got to kind of decide how that's going to be. And then you have Manny himself, who has proven himself to be a really fast flyer in the sim. So it could be a 4-way shootout, but my money's on Gab 707.
Well, you guys mentioned pretty much everybody. Let's officially meet all the pilots and the colors they will fly in semifinal number 2. Amari, the winner of the last levels in Iowa, he flies white. Halo Walker in Germany flies pink. Gab 707 in Canada flies yellow. Nub in Tennessee, purple. Manny himself in Georgia, the Algorand 13th pilot, flies green. And Fluxy in Minnesota flies red. Semifinal 2, Heat 1. The time for talking is over as they take to the air. It's that city gate, and now they drop down to the city gate. You've got Nub in purple right there, Amari in white, Halo Walker in pink in the mix.
Oh, look at this purple and pink mix you got. These guys are looking super wide on that T-Mobile turn, and that's going to slow him down. Specifically, Halo Walker, he's got to tighten it up.
Through the Diamond Gate, now up to the Dragonfly Roof Gate. You've got Nub in purple right there. That's a bit of a surprise. No offense to him, but Amari in white, Halo Walker in pink, they round out the top 3.
Oh, look, Amari's not going to let that one fly for very long, if you know what I mean.
They're on to lap number 2. Nub continues to have this advantage. That has to be building confidence in his mind as they're around the city gate for the second and final time this heat. They'll make a right turn around the T-Mobile Tower. Here it is again, the Algorand Vertical U. Nub in purple still in the lead.
Oh, the higher line went to Amari though, but look at the turn from Nub.
Let's give Nub credit. He has put the work in off of that last level. He would love to be the first guy to head to the finals. Just a few more turns to go. We've got the T-Mobile tunnel, then they'll go up to the Sky Gate one final time. All credit to Nub. He looks like he's gonna do it. It's in between him and Amari. Who's going to get it at the finish? It is Nub.
Wow.
Good. Yes.
Nub, all eyes were on Amari in that first heat, yet you managed to stay a confident distance from him. How aware were you that he was behind you?
I knew that him and I were battling the whole time, but starting back from the fourth podium, I honestly threw that race away. Like, I was expecting Amari to just walk away and take the win, and he might have had a little bobble somewhere, and I just stayed on my line and turned out to be lucky on that one time. I had no idea that he was that close to me. I just knew that he was right on top of me.
You're throwing it away to a little bit of luck there, but your line seemed to be pretty perfect throughout. Did that go perfectly to plan?
There was a couple little spots, like the vertical U-turn. I know I could have done that a little bit better. They probably caught some time on me, and if I can just get that turn down a little bit better and back on, what I know I can do, then I should be able to keep winning here in semifinals.
We look forward to seeing more. Thank you.
Thank you.
A relieved Nub wins heat number 1 by less than 2/100ths of a second, 116.789.
Well, we said it before, when Nub is hot, he is on, and putting Amari back in his place in this first heat of semifinal 2 is an incredible testament to his competitiveness as a racing pilot. He was able to step out early in the race and keep Amari behind him with just a very close opportunity for Amari to get past him at the end. He went a little bit wider on that final Skygate, almost giving up that opportunity. But when we got back to the shot of all the pilots, you could see the relief on his face because he thought he had lost it. So it was good for him in that opportunity to stay calm, collected, and get that win over Amari early.
Nub makes his first finals since level 7, becoming the first one to advance out of semifinal 2. Download the Drone Racing Arcade, a fun, free, and easy-to-play drone racing mobile game on iOS and Android. Nub would not be denied. 2 spots are still up for grabs. Heat 2 next.
Vital Intelligence is a contactless vital sign monitoring platform developed using machine vision and AI. What we've developed is the ability to remotely monitor blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, respiratory rate, and a slew of other vital bioindicators. Looking at the vasculature of your cheeks is able to see with every heartbeat the blood flowing through your face. The Vital Intelligence platform does these calculations in real time. So within 10 to 15 seconds of being observed by almost any camera, we're able to then provide any user with those valuable biometrics.
Definitely think we're going to see my heart rate increase on the Dragonfly kiosk.
Drone racing can be an exhausting endeavor. The races take hours, they're highly intense, and as our drone racers prepare to endure those conditions, we can help them deliver stronger performances on race day. Woo! With this new technology, we're revolutionizing the experience for pilots, fans, and the sporting industry now and into the future.
This is DRL, the Drone Racing League. Welcome back to Level 10 Kingdom. We're getting set for heat number 2 here in semifinal 2. The pilots are wearing headsets from riggaming.com, the official gaming headset and controller partner of the Drone Racing League, available at GameStop and other major retailers. TK, even Nub thought Amari was going to win that. So was his win in the last heat a fluke? Is Amari still considered the favorite?
Well, yeah, I don't know if I'm calling it a fluke, but he certainly surprised me, let's put it that way. I think we all thought Amari was going to win that one, but I got to give it to Nub. Hats off to you, bud. It was a fantastic race. He certainly held his own, but I don't think Amari's going to let that happen again. This is his world, and as far as he's concerned, all the rest of these pilots are just living in it.
Semi-final 2, Heat 2. Subjugating the competition does not come easy. Through the Sky Gate, they'll now drop down to the City Gate. That's that sweeping right-handed turn. Nub in purple right there, but Amari in white has found the front.
Pay attention upcoming to the vertical U-turn. That's where Nub started to take over Amari, and Amari's got good advantage now, but look how close Nub pulled up on him.
Through the Diamond Gate, they now head up to the Dragonfly Roof Gate. You've got Amari in white, Nub in purple. They're 1-2. Gab 707 in yellow, a close third.
This is dangerous. As soon as Nub realizes he has found a better line than Amari better watch out.
Well, it's back to that confidence factor we always talk about. Nub is a hot and cold pilot. He's hot at the moment. Nub is back in the lead. Amari takes it back through the city gate. They'll now make that left turn square gate, a right turn around the T-Mobile Tower, back to the Algorand vertical U, the tougher part of the course.
I'm seeing a couple small mistakes from Nub through a few of these turns, and that's what's slowing him down, and Amari is just taking advantage of it.
They drop down to the Allianz Penegate. Amari and Nub right there. Last turns through the switchback. It's the T-Mobile Tunnel one final time. A great surge from Amari in white. Up to that Skygate a third and final time. The left turn. Amari, redemption, and a little bit of revenge. He wins Heat 2.
Good run on your last one, too.
You got it. Yeah, you got it. You're like a tailhead. Congrats, man.
Yeah, no, I heard you.
Amari, after such a dominant performance in level 9, all eyes are on you now. Do you feel the pressure? Do you feel like there's a target on your back in that last race?
Man, I definitely felt the pressure going into Heat 2 here. Nub pulled out a crazy win I wasn't ready for, but I'm just glad I was able to dial it back in and do what I knew I could.
Nub not only pulled out a crazy win, he was chasing you on your tail throughout that last heat. You guys are neck and neck at the moment.
Yeah, credit where credit's due. I think we're both flying really well. We've both put in a lot of practice time, so I'm not super surprised that we're both at the top of our group right now.
And lastly, can you describe for me the type of pilot that this course really serves well?
So this is definitely a track that suits a technical pilot. There's not these big, long, smooth, sweeping turns. It's a lot of high intensity, high pressure moments where you have to execute a very complicated maneuver very quickly in order to pull out away from everyone else. And the pilots that you see do that are going to be the ones that succeed.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amari gets the needed win. He's headed back to the finals. That Heat 2 time, 117.974.
Well, as Heat 1 was Nub followed closely by Amari, this was the mirror image of it with Amari closely followed by Nub. But the biggest differentiator in this race was the vertical U-turn. You can see how Nub takes that just a little bit tighter and he closes down that gap to Amari. Then it kind of slowly works its way back through the rest of the race, and then next lap he comes right back up there, gets close through that vertical U-turn, and then we get to the finish. It's still just barely Amari out ahead of Nub. You can see Nub's perspective watching Amari, just wishing, crawling, trying to get him to come back so that he could get that second win and keep him out, but Amari takes the win.
In Heat 2, Amari and Nub swap positions. They're the only two pilots confirmed to head to the finals. If a third different pilot wins our next heat, there'll be no need for sudden death. Drone racing requires nimble and precise finger movements, so it's no surprise that veteran pilot Gab 707 has a passion for playing the guitar. Here's a closer look at Why He Flies, presented by Dragonfly, global UAV leader in the advancement and integration of drone technology.
Music is about expressing emotions, and there's so many things that you can say in that language. I play a bit of everything. Jazz music, classical, but mostly heavy metal, to be honest. Andy, the sound guy back there, I hear one of my all-time favorite songs just start kicking in, some solid Megadeth, and I'm like, oh yes, I got it. This is the vibe. This is what I need right now.
Gab 707 on top!
Guitar playing for me is something that contributes to drone racing because it's all about dexterity in the fingers. Guitar playing really taught me to look for the mechanics of moving fingers around to do whatever you need to do. I improvise a lot when I play, and it allows me to let go of emotions and just refocus. And for that, it's a really powerful tool. I just enjoy playing, you know? It's crazy how you can just move your fingers on a fretboard and make all these amazing sounds. Music for me is that best friend that you've always had and you always will have.
Amari and Nub may be able to breathe a little easier, but the pressure is on the others. Heat 3 is just around the corner.
Going into this season, I feel like there's a lot of unfinished business from last season. At the end of the day, my goal is to be the world champion, and I'm not going to always be fully satisfied unless I'm on the top spot.
I'm playing simulator till like 1 a.m. and I'm going to field at like 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. I'm practicing 3 times more than other people.
I'm planning to pick up where I left off at last year's Vegas Championship race. Last year was just about survival. This year I'm here to win.
I'm very good at being there no matter what the pressure is, no matter how many upsets there are. You can always count on a good race for me. 7 years of 707, you know?
I'm pretty confident. I know I can do it. I'm training for this. I'm practicing for this, like every day.
I'm fully expecting that I'm going to be competing for the top this season, especially with hybrid and everything. It's a really unique skill set required to do well. I think I'm uniquely positioned to excel at everything that we're going to be doing this year.
Being honest, I just want to win. I don't care if I have to train every single day at 6 a.m. I will do anything just to win.
I feel confident in my abilities to beat a lot of the pilots. I've been putting in a lot of work and a lot of practice, so I just feel confident.
These guys literally got their names by racing me. This isn't the first time I've raced them. I'm not really scared to race anybody.
The opportunity to be here is like such a privilege. So many pilots would wish to be here. I really want to show that I'm worthy.
I'm 100% committed that I will win every race out there. So if you like to root for a winner, then you probably should root for me.
To be an elite drone racer is a mindset. It's I need to be there. It's not I want to be there. It's not I hope to be there. It's I need to be there. I do deserve to be in DRL. The amount of time I put in should speak for itself.
This is DRL, the Drone Racing League. Welcome back to the semifinals of Level 10 Kingdom. Here in semifinal 2, Nub and Amari have already qualified for the finals. TK, I always see this as a pretty simple question for you, right? Are we going to see a third different winner, or is it going to be another win for either Nub or Amari?
It's a great question, Craig. Look, if I was one of the 4 pilots trying to get, into the next round, I wouldn't be thinking so much about Amari and Nub. I would less focus on them, more focus on what the task is on hand. You got 2 choices. Either risk it for the biscuit and you risk it for a crash, or use this as an opportunity to hone your line, look for the proper opportunities to get an advancement, and use that when it comes to sudden death. Because look, the likelihood of Amari and Nub getting a win in Heat 3 is pretty good. So plan ahead.
Semifinal 2, Heat 3. Rip the moment, but in a relaxed manner. Through the Sky Gate, now down to the City Gate. You've got Nub in purple. Manny himself briefly to the front, but now Amari in white's right there, followed quickly by pink Halo Walker.
Oh, these guys gotta reduce the unforced errors. Swinging wide in these turns is gonna drastically hurt their race.
Now they head up to the Dragonfly Roof Gate. You've got Amari in white cleanly in front. Nub in purple is now slotted himself right there. Gab 707 in yellow trying to become a factor.
Whoa, look at that change up as Nub falls back, Craig.
Nub is gone for the moment. That leaves Amari in white clearly in front, already on to lap number 2 around that City Gate. You've got Nub back in 6th, Amari in white in 1st, Halo in pink. That's second place. Gab 707 in third, but he's making a move for second.
Yes, he is. Look at Halo, though. He's in a great opportunity. Wait for an opportunity to arise because he's not going to be able to advance him with this little real estate left or hone the line. And you can do both right here, right now.
Through the switchback, you've got our leader, Amari in white, Halo in pink in second. Up to the Skygate that last time. There's your left turn. Amari will get another win, and it will be a 4-pilot sudden death.
Sudden death it is.
Man, oh man.
Okay.
It's a tough course.
Moving on to finals.
It is,
Jack.
man. That's a really...
Halo, good to speak to you. We're seeing your personality throughout these sim races more than we did in real life. And one of the things I remember you saying is that beating Amari will be an achievement. You're really on his tail in that last heat.
Oh yeah, it is really tough to race with Amari. He knows exactly what he needs to do in which turn, where he can let off the throttle and where he can't. And even knows where you are compared to him. He knows when he has to push, and when he has to push, he does. So it's really hard to catch up.
I know you have your own game plan and your own strategies as you go into it, but when you see a pilot like Amari or any other pilot taking some lines that are better, how much do you adjust and what do you change moving forward?
Well, I wasn't expecting Amari to be as consistent as he was in these last 3 heats. Nub beating him was definitely a big surprise for me personally. I didn't know he had that in him, but good for him. But I think I'll just keep what I did these past heats in sudden death and move on to finals.
We look forward to watching you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Officially, Amari wins for the 15.
Am I back?
Well, heading into this final round, I want to throw out something that the other commentators have talked about, and that's this T-Mobile tower. What you can see is that everybody's coming through much wider than the 2 guys that are coming out in front. You can see that Amari and Nub are using that opportunity to cut it tighter and to push themselves out into the lead. Nub did end up crashing later in the heat, but both Amari and him stepped out ahead of the rest of the pack in that moment. Then coming on to the final part of the race, we had Amari got that huge lead out over Halo Walker through the Skygate, kept trying to reel him in, trying to get closer, but he had nothing left to do but watch Amari come into the finish gate and prepare for sudden death.
So officially, Amari wins heats 2 and 3. He and Nub continue to be the only 2 pilots who are assured of a spot in the final. That means the 4 pilots in sudden death: Halo Walker, Manny himself, Gab 707, and Fluxy. In TK, there's only 1 spot available. Halo seems to be trending in the right direction.
Yes, sir. I'm definitely looking at Halo here. Look, Manny's got a good line as well, but I saw a few uncharacteristic mistakes from him in that previous heat. Halo Walker, on the other hand, was just dialed in. He was locked in on the proper race line. He knew exactly where he needed to start his turns, end his turns. So I would imagine we're going to see some great things come from him in sudden death.
Semi-final 2, sudden death. Time to do whatever it takes. 4 in the air, only 1 will move on. Manny himself in green, the early leader, but Halo in pink has surged to the front.
Oh, Manny seems to slow down on that city gate. Halo advances through that section, but watch him through this section. Look at him soar in front of the rest.
Halo in pink, first through the Diamond Gate, now up to that Dragonfly Roof Gate. You've got Halo in pink in first, Manny himself in green in second. They're through the Pennant Gate, and now it's the switchback. They're getting ready for the T-Mobile Tunnel. You've got the 2 who have distanced themselves in front and on to lap number 2. Halo in pink and Manny in green.
Oh, this takes a huge amount of skill to stay this close to Halo. Manny realizing that, and he is capitalizing on it through every turn. He has an opportunity.
The Algorand Vertical U, we've seen it change so many heats, but it doesn't change this one as Halo stays in front, but Manny is putting up a fight. This has turned into a slugfest here in sudden death. Only 1 pilot will advance. Remember, the switchback's towards the end. It's the T-Mobile Tunnel. You've got Halo and Pink still in front. They'll go up to the Skygate 1 final time. Halo's got the inside, but Manny's right there. It's gonna go down to the wire. It looks like, and it is Halo moving on to the finals.
Oh. Wow.
Nice run, Halo.
You were on me.
1400.
That was an absolute battle between
Yeah.
you two.
Unbelievable,
Good job,
bro.
Manny.
Unbelievable, man.
race. Good race.
Yeah.
Halo, your plan going into this was to maintain everything exactly as it was, continue as you were going, and you were right.
Yeah, it definitely worked out the way I wanted it to. I was trying to stay on my line, not make any mistakes on any of the turns, especially those where mistakes really hurt you. And it worked out.
You were consistent and that paid off, but you had someone right on your tail. How aware, how conscious were you of quite how close Manny was?
I didn't know exactly how close he was, just because of ping and all that. I did hear him behind me, and I knew he was on me. So having that pilot push me was definitely something I felt during that heat.
It was thrilling to watch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Halo Walker calm as ever. He wins, and they even said it during the pilot banter. 14 100ths of a second. He wins 114.994.
Well, that was an insanely close battle between Halo Walker and Manny himself, and they were neck and neck, not changing any distance until this moment in the switchback. You can see Manny takes a little bit lower of a line to Halo Walker, where Halo is going straight for that gate. Manny's got to make a little bit of elevation change to get up to him, and from then on, I didn't think there was going to be a chance to pass again. We got all the way to the finish gate at the Sky Gate. They were coming down, and they kept that same distance apart from each other, and that prevented Halo Walker from, or excuse me, that prevented Manny himself from being able to make that pass on Halo Walker. In the end, he just ran out of the gas that he needed to make it into the finish and into finals.
There they are, your three moving on from semifinal number 2, Amari, Nub, and Halo Walker. The Pettigate is a key differentiator on this course. TK, take us through it, presented by the U.S. Air Force.
The maneuver through the Pettigate requires the pilots to balance momentum, speed, and distance. The ideal approach is just wide enough to sweep smoothly through the gate. They roll left and pitch up to pass the upper half of the gate with a late apex and straight toward the diamond gate. Approaching directly causes them to swing wide as they exit, which takes longer, to force a sharp maneuver, which slows them down, or to crash.
We've got our full batch of 6. The finals are set, and they are next.
We're here at the training facility with Gotham FC, and for the very first time, we're going to have the FPV drone on the field with the players as they're training. We're hoping to get some really unique shots and something you've never seen before.
The Drone Racing League, brought to you by Algorand, the world's first blockchain designed for the future of finance. By Allianz, the global leader in asset management, investments, and insurance. And by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G network. Welcome back to the 2021 DRL World Championship. We're on the DRL simulator for Level 10 Kingdom, and it's here. We are set for the finals. TK, I did a double take during the break going through these names. This is a group of heavy hitters.
Oh, man, this is the power crew, Craig. Alex, Amari, Heads Up, and then you throw in Halo, Walker, Nub, and Sky. I mean, I know I'm just listing the names here, the guys, but it is an amazing group of talent here with these six. I don't even know what to say. I'm just shocked, and I'm happy, and I cannot wait to see this race.
Well, let's bring back in our 2018 DRL World Champion, Paul Nurkala. Nurk, a reminder to everyone, right? We talked about it at the top of the show as a possibility. Vanover, who leads the overall season standings, isn't even in this finals, right? So we'll eventually get to the ramifications there. But back to what I said to TK, this list, this group, Heads Up, our defending DRL World Champion, is in the last qualifying position for finals.
Yeah, it's never a good position to find yourself in when you're at the back of the group, because the podiums where the drones sit at takeoff are all staggered a little bit. So even if he gets the best start possible, he still has to look at all of the other drones in his field of view as he's trying to battle his way to the front. And while he is an experienced pilot, a confident pilot, one that can deal with that pressure, it's another factor that's going to weigh on his mind while he's trying to race his way to the front.
Well, if he didn't have enough weighing on his mind, these guys all have the track on their mind, and with this track being very different than the last one, I think we're seeing quite the shakeup, and that's why we're getting the group we're getting, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex FPV has come out of the gate, won all 3 of his heats and semifinals, which is unbelievable. It gives him that sense of confidence, and he won those over his chief rival, Heads Up. That gives him such an opportunity to now carry that momentum, carry that consistency and confidence into racing against these other heavy hitters.
Well, the possibility, right, guys, the potential of this finals is there. Let's meet the pilots and the colors they will fly. Alex FPV in Tennessee flies blue. Amari in Iowa, white. Nub in Tennessee as well flies purple. Sky in Colorado, lime green. Halo Walker in Germany will fly pink. And another Tennessee pilot, Heads Up, our defending DRL World Champion, light blue. Finals, Heat 1. Don't run from it. Fly towards your fate. Up to the city sky gate. Now they'll drop down to the city gate. That sweeping right turn. You've got Alex in blue right there in front, but Amari in white puts his nose there. Now it's Alex back there with Amari in second.
This is a tight pack with a bunch of shakeup going on here, Craig. Look at the action.
Yeah, we should see a lot of lead changes throughout, but look how close all 6 are as they're up to the Dragonfly roof gate. They'll drop down to the Allianz Penegate. Heads Up in light blue. Now Halo Walker in pink. This lead is changing back and forth.
I can't believe this would be such a distraction, Craig. Having all these pilots around you is so difficult to fly, and these pros are doing it.
Already on to lap number 2 around the city gate for a second time. Heads Up light blue right there. You've got Alex in blue, but Nub in purple even got to the front for a second. Here we go. That Algorand vertical U-turn. Heads Up keeps his lead. He's in light blue, but just barely ahead of now Nub in purple.
Well, Heads Up's found a great spot here, and that's the front of the pack. Knowing that Amari and the rest of them are all right on his tail, he's doing a great job keeping that composure and holding on.
A T-Mobile tunnel. Then they'll head up to that Skygate one final time. Heads Up, light blue is your leader. The left turn. Amari and White's in second. They dive for the finish. Heads Up takes the first win. He's headed to the Golden Heat.
Got it.
Oh, yeah! Can't get rid of me like that!
That was deep.
Nice run. Dude, that was real close.
Can you remind me real quick?
What podium was that?
Okay.
Okay. 6 podium to first. Get out of the way. Okay.
Oh my gosh, man.
Easy. I blew it on the uphill both times.
Let's go, dude.
Heads Up, congratulations. That was one hell of a race. All the pack so tight, so close throughout. TK mentioned that must have been distracting for you as a pilot. Did you find it distracting, just not knowing who was where and when?
It's not even a distraction. We're just so used to it. Having Amari right next to me, I can see in the top left on the leaderboard the white and the blue flashing back and forth. And going into that last high gate, I just had to flick it, and it was either a do or die situation. I made it through, and then going down that last straightaway, away, I just had to sit there and my heart was pounding. But once that leaderboard came up, all the emotion came over me and I'm so excited.
Coming into DRL this season and throughout all the levels, you've been incredibly consistent. Your rivals may have changed, not seeing Vanover here as a surprise, but why is it that you're so consistent and so good?
I mean, yeah, I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. I try and be very driven. I like to think that I'm here for a reason. I've definitely worked as hard as I possibly could in real life, in the sim. I don't like to be one-sided. I like to appreciate both sides of the sim and in real life. And I've really worked hard towards both of those to get where I am today. But I plan to capitalize on as many opportunities as I can, and that's what I'm doing right now.
We love watching you. Thank you.
Heads Up wins by 7/100ths of a second. That time, 118.634.
Well, our 2020 champion had a lot of work to do out of the gate. From the launch podium, you can see this cacophony of drones out in front of him, all of these distractions that are trying to vie for his attention, to get him distracted and to get him out of the early race. Heads Up was able to cope with all of those distractions, and by the start of lap number 2, he was able to take the first position through the Skygate and hold on to that lead for the rest of the race to the win. You can see through the Skygate, he comes through, cuts it right through that bottom corner, and comes out in the lead. He then holds on to that until the end of the race.
Heads Up got the win, but remember, you can also get to the finals by placing second twice. So Amari's second to start these finals off becomes important indeed. Heads Up is headed back to another golden heat. That's where you have to be if you want to win the level, but we are far from deciding level 10.
The Algorand ecosystem is where monumental change takes shape. So come transform the world with us on Algorand.
This is DRL, the Drone Racing League. Welcome back to the finals of Level 10 Kingdom. Heads Up won heat number 1 and has secured his spot in the winner-take-all golden heat. TK, we heard Heads Up tell Layla it wasn't a distraction at all that 5 of the 6 pilots in that last heat finished within 0.3 of a second of each other. Is it a distraction to the other guys?
Well, yeah. Maybe it's not for Heads Up, but, you know, if you're human like the rest of us, it is certainly a distraction to have all those drones buzz in your face. Now, the real thing is now is who's going to disrupt his momentum and get their own, and that's what I'm looking for next in this next heat. And if I had to pick somebody, I'm looking at Amari.
Finals, Heat 2. Kings and queens could only dream to fly like this. As they through the Skygate, drop down to the City Gate. You've got Nub in purple, he's in front. No, it's Alex FPV in blue in front now as they get ready to make their right turn around the T-Mobile Tower.
It's a huge confidence booster for Alex. Look, we know he has the talent to hold his way all the way to the finish, so he should be able to, and right now he's looking solid.
That Dragonfly roof gate presents the drop to the Allianz Pentagate. You've got Alex in blue, he's in front, Amari in white, but now Heads Up in light blue. They're fighting for seconds.
Look at that surge from Amari. He knows what he needs to do. He's only got one more lap to do it. He's got to make some moves.
Citygate for the second and final time this heat. Alex has found his groove. He leads everybody around the T-Mobile Tower. Back to that Algorand vertical U-turn. You've got Alex in blue first, Heads Up in light blue second, Amari in white third.
Uh-oh, this is not looking well for Amari's. He had some slowdowns through a couple turns, especially that vertical U-turn, but he's running out of real estate.
Into the switchback, you've got Alex now trying to get there, but if Heads Up wins it, keep an eye on Alex in white. If he gets a second, he'll move on as well. The top three are close, all diving for that finish. Heads Up gets the win, and Amari does get the second. He'll head to the golden heat as well.
55,000. Very nice.
First and second.
Still got that flying V.
One turn.
Alex was out on me too.
There's that return of the flying V. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
I threw it all in one turn.
V up.
I'm trying to V up. I promise.
No, you're right there, man.
Amari, good to see you celebrating regardless. You didn't need to win that one, so did you just take that moment towards the end?
Well, I was pushing the entire time. We're competing for those podium spots for launching positions come Golden Heat. And, doesn't make sense to throw everything away at the last turn for pride. So I just raced my best race the entire time, and it was able to get me into the finals, which is really what I was after.
Looking who's around you and who's likely to be in those finals, how are you feeling about your competition?
I'm feeling good. I am feeling really good. I mean, no surprise. If I walked into this competition thinking that Heads Up and Alex weren't going to be in the finals, I'd be lying to myself. So glad to be there, and I know they're going to be there too, and we're going to have a crazy race again like last week. I know it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you bet.
Only 8/100ths of a second separate our top three pilots. It's Heads Up with a second win, 114.5.
Well, watching this whole race, I was getting ready to tell you about how Alex FPV established his lead and held onto it early. But this one move, going through the vertical U-turn, down to the Diamond Gate, Heads Up was able to step all of that back, get out into the lead, and then hold on to it for the rest of the race. So through that Diamond Gate, he was able to take the lead over Alex FPV. Then we get to that final. We've got a 1-2-3 battle, really, really tight for that finish gate. And Heads Up manages to get a second win, but Amari, with his second, moves on to finals.
Heads Up is there, but Amari is as well. It's the first that has gotten Heads Up to the Golden Heat. It's the 2 seconds that get Amari there. Rookie pilot Halo Walker has now made the level finals for the second straight time, but just about a year ago, it seemed like his drone racing career would be grounded after a bad accident left him with 2 broken arms.
It's stupid. It's really stupid. The accident happened during our holidays on an island in the Netherlands. I was coming back from the beach alone on my bike and hit a bump on the street, the only bump on the entire street. My feet slid off the pedals and dragged them along the floor, and then I lost control over the entire bike. And trying to catch myself from the fall, I broke both my arms. Breaking both my arms last year was definitely a setback from my racing career, but I think I came back even stronger. Being able to keep training and competing despite having broken both arms was definitely hard in the beginning, but 2 days after the accident, I started practicing again, trying to be able to fly despite of cast and bandages, and that, I think, gave me a good start. I kind of proved to myself that I can accomplish anything, even the worst of accidents that could happen to a drone pilot.
TK, that last level, right? We heard a lot about the Flying V, Heads Up, Amari, Alex, but of that Flying V, 2 of the 3 are in. Alex, however, is not. Paul started to talk about it. What does Alex really have to improve upon to get a win?
Well, see, that's just the thing. Greg, Alex swept his semifinal against Heads Up. So the guy knows what he needs to do. He knows how to fly this course. The problem was Heads Up got some momentum under his belt. He got some confidence, and that makes it dangerous to fly against a guy like him. You got to stop that before it starts. But since it's already started, you got to reel him back in.
Yeah, don't let the cat out of the bag.
No.
Finals, Heat 3. Clear the mechanism and trust the process. Up to that sky gate. Now they drop quickly down to the city gate. The sweeping right-hand turn. Alex, FPV in blue in front. Nub in purple in second. Heads up in light blue is trying to jostle up there to get in front, but it's Alex in blue keeping him at bay.
There we go. This is what we've seen. Alex gets a great start and holds on, but he's got to continue that execution through the back half of the first lap. This is where he normally starts to slow down. Right now, he's on fire. Continue on that momentum.
Into the T-Mobile tunnel. You've got Alex and Heads Up, the buddies. They are 1-2, already on to lap number 2, but you guys have talked about it and you're the pros. Heads Up, confident is dangerous. He doesn't care who he races against, his best friend or his mother. He's gonna try to beat him as they're through that Algorand U-turn.
Seeing a couple mistakes from Alex, swinging wide, swinging too low, and look, he let the pass happen, oh no!
Don't give Heads Up these gifts. He's gonna make you pay. They're already into the switchback again. The T-Mobile tunnel, the final time this heat. Heads Up has some smooth and clean air, and guess what? He's about to go 3 for 3. Heads Up takes another one.
Dang.
Come on,
dude.
I'm sorry. Hey, you got 3 in a row on me in the semis. You got 3 in a row on me in the semis. I'm not letting you have that again.
That's all right. I'll just take one more. I'll just take one more of those.
You take
That's
it.
okay.
Yep. Just take your time. Just warm it up.
I'm so scared to crash.
Alex, throughout this entire season, we've seen you and your friend, Heads Up, who you often train with, working together. Is this the first time you've been so fiercely competing with him?
Oh, absolutely not. I believe it's this fierce every time we step out there on the track. It's just definitely showing here. I think he had a little attitude after I took 3 away from him in the semis, but you know, I don't want it any other way. Got me a second there, and I just need one more to sneak into the finals, but I got a feeling I'll sneak a win in for sure.
You seem to be finding your rhythm now. How important is that to you?
Yeah, it's big because I know I have the speed, but my battle is battling whether I'm going to be consistent or just try to go out there and, you know, go as fast as I can every single heat. And right now I'm just a little too scared of wrecking, and so these last few heats I'm just going to roll the dice, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Heads Up's winning time in heat number 3, 1:15.057.
Well, Alex FPV has done it again where he starts out so strong. He's got a huge gap on the rest of the pack. Even through this vertical U-turn, he's coming out way ahead, but somewhere in the back half of that course, he loses a little bit of pace. Maybe he starts to get a little bit complacent, and Heads Up and Amari start to reel him in really slowly. Then once we get to that second lap, Alex still has that lead heading into the vertical U-turn, but what happens through the Diamond Gate, the same thing as last heat. Heads Up comes out with just a little bit more momentum, comes through that Dragonfly Sky Gate a little bit ahead, and he holds onto that lead for the rest of the race.
Cannot argue with that top line, but Alex just told Layla he knows his second in that last heat has dramatically helped his chances. It has been all Heads Up so far, but more chances remain for the 4 pilots not in the Golden Heat. Stick with us. Welcome to the premier international drone racing circuit. This is DRL, the Drone Racing League.
We've teamed up with Drone Racing League to fuel 5G innovation in 2 fast-growing markets, drones and tech-powered sports.
T-Mobile is building the largest, fastest, most reliable 5G network in the country. And DRL is building a new sport that depends on using innovative technology to create an audience experience like no one has ever seen before.
In the past, the analog video that's come through is not very clear and not very clean. With T-Mobile 5G wireless technology, we get a crystal clear image. Now that the field test has proven to be a success, it's time to build a fleet of these drones and take them to DRL races and T-Mobile events and really show the world what this drone can do.
This is just the beginning, and I can't wait to see this 5G drone take flight.
This is DRL, the Drone Racing League. Welcome back to Level 10 Kingdom. We're halfway through the finals, and Heads Up and Amari have already qualified for the Golden Heat. TK, similar to what I asked you before the last heat, now Alex does have that critical second place. Does he have to change anything in terms of moving forward?
Yeah, well, two things, right? Make sure you don't crash. He said it himself in his interview earlier. He was scared of that, and that's a valid concern. But what Paul said earlier in the replays was spot on. Look, Alex is doing great through that first half of the track, and he's gaining some great ground and momentum, but he seems to be slipping up or slowing down. He starts to swing a little wide in a couple turns. If he can continue that same momentum from lap 1 into lap number 2, he's going to be sitting pretty.
Finals, Heat 4. Into the flight and formidable fight we go. Through the Sky Gate, now they drop down to the City Gate. The same cast of characters already at the front. Alex in blue, Halo Walker in pink, Amari in white. They are fighting for first.
Well, here we go again, Craig. Take a look at Alex as he goes through this vertical U-turn. He handles it beautifully. He tends to swing wide through this diamond and allow the pack hatch up, and it looks like he's doing that.
Through that Dragonfly roof gate down to the Allianz Pena Gate. Alex in blue, we've seen this a lot of heats in a row. He has that lead through the switchback and into the T-Mobile tunnel. Alex in blue first, Heads Up in light blue right behind him. Amari in white third.
Oh, that gap behind Alex is closing and closing fast.
This surge that Heads Up always seems to have on the second lap should send shudders down the back of these other pilots. They're already through that vertical U-turn, through the Diamond Gate. Now they'll head up to the Dragonfly roof gate. Alex, though, is doing well. He's kept Heads Up at bay so far.
Wow, look how close he's coming up on him. He is catching up quick.
Let's go through the T-Mobile tunnel one final time and up to the Sky Gate. Is this Alex's chance? It's the best one so far. They're dropping down to the finish for the win. Can Heads Up catch him? No. Alex gets his win.
I ain't laying down like that, Heads Up. No, sir.
Wow.
We'll go back and forth like this. I love it, baby. I love it.
One more. Hey, we got more heats to go.
We got two more. Like men. Heads Up.
That's
like
right.
men.
That's right.
I love it.
Yeah,
all right.
see you there.
I may need a 5-podium head start, but like men.
You
like
got your
men.
ticket. You got your ticket.
I got my ticket.
Ticket punch.
Woo!
You got your ticket, Alex. The vertical U-turn and Diamond Gate seemed like quite a pivotal place, but your start seems so pivotal. Every single area there seems like it's the most winning moment for you. Where was it for you that you felt this is where I've got it?
Oh, you never feel like you have it in these sim races for sure. But if I knew, I'm so fast at the rest of the track, the vertical U-turn and the Diamond Gate is like, if I can just hold on through there and fly like I know I can through the rest, I know I have a shot at it. So as soon as I made it through 2 laps of those two, I just knew in my head, like, please, come on, at least give me second. I'm just trying to get into that golden heat. It's so hard, but, you sneak out a little win, and you just take them when you can for sure.
Going through to the Golden Heat and looking ahead at that, how do you feel?
Oh, man, as long as I make it in the Golden Heat, put on a good show, I feel like my job it feels done, but, deep down I'm going to race those guys as hard as I can, but there's a huge pressure taken off my shoulders right now for sure. So I'm just trying to take these next 2 heats to figure out how fast I can go and just get ready for that 3-way Golden Heat.
Enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alex gets his win, and that time in Heat 4, only 4/100ths of a second ahead of his good friend Heads Up, 1:15.508.
Well, we knew what Alex needed to do to deliver this win, and this was the key moment for the race. That second half, that third quarter of the race was where he needed to have some ground made up on Heads Up. You can see Heads Up takes this turn out of this switchback a little bit wide, letting Alex maintain that lead over Heads Up all the way until the finish. They go through the T-Mobile tunnel up to the Sky Gate, and you have here's Heads Up's perspective of Alex, trying to reel him in, trying to catch him up to try to kind of push him back in the race. But at this point, it's all Alex's opportunity because he can get that first or second place to come in to win. But here he is, just sneaking in ahead of Heads Up, reminding us of what he did in semifinal 2.
Alex FPV gets his golden ticket, and just like that, the 3 pilots that were in our last Levels Golden Heat have earned their way here at level 10. Pilots may be in, but there are 2 more chances for the other 3 to join them. You're going to want to see this.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
This is DRL, the Drone Racing League. Welcome back to the finals of Level 10 Kingdom. With just 2 more regular heats of racing remaining, 3 pilots, Heads Up, Amari, and Alex FPV, have secured their spots in the Golden Heat. TK, I want to go back to that last interview. Alex told Layla it's going to be a 3-pilot Golden Heat. Can he see the future?
Yeah, he's pretty bold for that one. Look, we haven't seen anything from the other 3 pilots, at least so far in the finals, that would lead me to believe that there's going to be more than 3 people in that Golden Heat. But there is opportunities, especially here. 2 more heat opportunities for them, and they could make it happen. We've seen mistakes happen with the other pilots in the past, and that could happen here, and Nub, Halo, or Sky could still squeak by and get a win.
Finals, Heat 5. Trepidation better take a back seat. As they head to the Sky Gate, they'll drop immediately down to the City Gate. Alex in blue, he's in front. Nub in purple second. Halo Walker in pink fighting for that second place. Amari in white is now in the mix.
Nub in purple is who I'm looking at. Watch him for the opportunities to arise and see if he can execute it, but he's not doing it now. He's slowing down.
Up to the Dragonfly roof gate. Alex in blue in front, Amari in white second, but now Heads Up in light blue has moved there, but Sky in green in second briefly.
Still a pretty close pack here, Craig, but look, if you're in 4th place as Nub or Sky or even Halo and you're watching those front 3, you got a lot of fear in your eyes.
Yeah, you better find a way to break through. Already onto lap number 2 and down to that City Gate yet again. Another smooth run so far from Alex FPV in blue. He's got a large gap to his friend Heads Up in light blue. They'll head for that Algorand vertical U-turn. Alex is through cleanly.
Oh.
Heads Up still in second. Sky in green in third.
Sky's in a good position here. He could make some things happen. Oh no, that launch up there slowed him down.
Through and into the switchback. These are the closing moments of this heat. And you've still got Alex in blue, Heads Up in light blue. The top 2 up to that Sky Gate one final time. We've seen this script before as they drop down to the finish. Alex looks in pretty good position, and he gets another win.
Be down, boys! Gotta put a hole in it. Put a hole in the V, boys.
Hey, somebody cool these girls off up here.
That's all right. I'm up there. I'm up there.
I can fan you through the screen, Alex. Come on, man.
Please, I run a little hot.
Yeah, running hot over there, baby. Keep it up now.
I'm ready.
Alex, good to chat to you. Now tell me how the strategy is working. What's the plan here?
Oh, man, like I said, I'm just going to take these last 2 heats to kind of see how fast I can go and kind of roll those dice in the vertical U-turn in the Diamond Gate. Like I said, I was a little iffy at before, and, you know, we're doing it so that we're just trying to take advantage of what we can do good here and not trying to throw it away in the vertical U-turn and Diamond Gate. And I think I'm starting to figure it out, feeling a lot more comfortable, and, again, just trying to have another good finish going into the Golden Heat and keep that momentum going.
Yeah, the momentum is exactly what we can see. I don't think it can be stopped. But also in our last interview, you predicted a 3-man Golden Heat. Do you still stand by that prediction?
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you one thing. The Blind V isn't going down. We're in. Nobody else is stepping in our court.
Good luck with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love that answer. Steely eyes, steely conviction. Alex FPV wins his 2nd heat in a row, 116.669.
Well, after Alex had that excellent, dominating semifinal heat, we were, excited to see what this battle between him and Heads Up was going to look like, and it still has continued to be this awesome, close, back-and-forth battle. You can see that they're taking almost identical lines. They're keeping each other at exactly the same distance apart and making this battle one to watch and one to stay peeled to. It's going to be awesome to see how it comes down in the final round. But in this opportunity, this late in the game, it's a huge opportunity for Alex to continue to pull in those wins, to build that confidence, to try to demoralize Heads Up and get wins so that going into the Golden Heat, he can take the win.
Well, Alex FPV is not only finding his lines, as we've heard in these interviews with Leia, he has certainly found his confidence. Heads Up may have 3 wins, but Alex has the last 2. One more regular heat in these finals. One final chance for Nub, Sky, and Halo to make it to the Golden Heat.
Vital Intelligence is a contactless vital sign monitoring platform developed using machine vision and AI. What we've developed is the ability to remotely monitor blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, respiratory rate, and a slew of other vital bioindicators. Looking at the vasculature of your cheeks is able to see with every heartbeat the blood flowing through your face. The Vital Intelligence platform does these calculations in real time. So within 10 to 15 seconds of being observed by almost any camera, we're able to then provide any user with those valuable biometrics.
Definitely think we're going to see my heart rate increase on the Dragonfly kiosk.
Drone racing can be an exhausting endeavor. The races take hours, they're highly intense, and as our drone racers prepare to endure those conditions, we can help them deliver stronger performances on race day. Woo! With this new technology, we're revolutionizing the experience for pilots, fans, and the sporting industry now and into the future.
This is DRL, the Drone Racing League. Welcome back. Only one more chance here in the finals of Level 10 Kingdom for the pilots to earn their way into the Golden Heat. We know Heads Up, Alex FPV, and Amari are already in. And TK, we've seen and heard some fun banter and battles between Heads Up and Alex, but Sky got 3rd in that last heat. Can he pull off basically the miracle win and become the 4th member in this Golden Heat here?
You know, it's certainly possible. Not only did he get 3rd, he also got a smile at the end of that last heat. And that might have been the first one we've seen from him, but that in and of itself is huge. It's a huge confidence booster to go into another heat with a happy face, with a happy feeling inside. So Sky certainly has it in him to be able to squeak by and get a win. It's a matter of whether or not those other two are going to make any mistakes.
Finals, Heat 6. Paradise is out there. You just have to pilot yourself to it. The Sky Gate down to the City Gate. Once again, you've got Alex FPV, but it's Nub in purple who is briefly out in front. Now Amari in white has surged into second. Now they'll make that right turn around the T-Mobile Tower and head to the daunting Algorand vertical U-turn.
Oh, I'm seeing a couple wide turns from those front guys, and there's a huge mistake.
Alex, with that big mistake, is dropped all the way into the back. That leaves Amari in white in front, Heads Up in light blue in second, but now Heads Up has moved to the front as they'll go through the switchback, set up for the T-Mobile tunnel. Heads Up and Amari switching that lead.
Craig, this is huge for Nub. Look, he's got one of the top 3 out of the way. He's just got to get Amari and Heads Up out, and he can get a win.
Through that City Gate, onto lap number 2. It's a left turn through the Square Gate, right turn around the T-Mobile Tower, back to that Algorand vertical U-turn. That was a mistake for Alex the last time, but he's through this time. But look at the front. Heads Up light blue, Amari in white, Halo in pink, Nub in purple. They're your top 4.
Craig, Heads Up and Amari are flying the right line all the way through this course. That's why Halo and Nub are not able to advance on these 2.
Basically a practice session for the Golden Heat right now for Heads Up as he's cleanly in front, and he's going to steal the momentum away from Alex, winning the final regular heat, his 4th heat win of the finals.
That's 3.
That's 3.
That's 3.
We take
Alex,
those.
you are so welcome right there.
Oh my goodness! Thank you, brother.
Gotta
Thank
hold down
you.
the fort, hold the rope.
Hey,
Hold
sometimes I talk, you fly. Sometimes you talk, I fly. We'll just talk. We'll just talk.
Amari, we're seeing joy, relief, a mixture of emotions. Am I right?
Oh my goodness, yeah. When Alex said he was down, that got really intense there for a minute when me and Heads Up knew we had to hold down the fort by ourselves.
And you absolutely did. Give me a prediction of this Golden Heat. How's it going to go down?
Man, it really just seems to be whose ever night it is. It could really go any way, and that's kind of what I like about the whole Golden Heat format. Everyone goes their hardest the entire time, and then you just see who makes it out at the end. It's going to be very close, though.
Heads Up believes he's the most consistent. Alex believes he's got the momentum. Where are your beliefs?
I do think momentum's important. I take a lot of pride in that I haven't crashed a single heat, semifinals, 2 finals. So I definitely think I have the consistency boon. I think I'm a good mixture of the 2, honestly. I have the speed, and I'm very consistent.
It's exciting to see. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The final regular heat does indeed go to Heads Up, and his winning time doesn't matter the time, it just matters the win, but it's 118.453.
Well, these finals have been a wild back and forth between Heads Up and Alex FPV. Heads Up had the momentum for a while, Alex had the momentum for a while, and here in this heat, Alex's momentum came to a very sudden stop when he smacked into the vertical U-turn, trying to cut that really tight and getting out ahead. I'm worried that this chance, this opportunity that he's given to Heads Up is going to give Heads Up that momentum. I was just watching the pilots' reactions after the end of the heat. You can see Alex is a little bit down and Heads Up is starting to get fired up again. So with the last of this race happening here, it's going to be interesting to see who can come out on top.
4 wins for Heads Up. 2 for Alex. Amari advances based on his seconds. And speaking of second, Halo Walker, a little bit too late, but he does get second in that final regular heat. We're going to have a 3-pilot Golden Heats. To be your best, you have to push past the status quo, past the restrictions in your mind about what's possible. To be the best, you have to push all limits.
Push all limits. Push all limits.
Push all limits. Push all limits. Repousse toutes les limites. Die Grenzen überwältigen.
Push all limits, baby.
When I hear push all limits, I think of insane racing. Going really fast on the track, super competitive racing line.
Push all limits means get to the limit, try to go beyond it. And I mean, that's what we do as pilots every day.
It's all about digging deep and finding what your limits are and accepting the fact that those are not your limits. They're only the limits that you put on yourself.
We did it! Oh!
To me, pushing all limits means keep going.
Let's go, baby!
It's the understanding that things are going to be hard and making sure you just keep going anyway.
Let's go.
Records are meant to be broken. There are no limits to what you can do. You just need to keep pushing harder and you'll get where you need to go.
Oh! I push the limits by visualizing lines.
we are in a three-dimensional space trying to find that perfect racing line. I think that is a limit that will be pushed this year, and I think that is a limit that will be pushed for many years to come.
I push all limits by never settling for any performance. There's always something you can make better. And if you stop finding those things, you need to look harder.
Pushing all the limits is just leaving no stone unturned. Racing the absolute hardest you can, bringing out the best in your competitive nature, the best in your own flying skills, and going out there and racing your heart out.
Show us how you push all limits using hashtag #PushAllLimits and tagging DRL. 3 pilots will decide level 10. The kingdom is there for the taking. The Golden Heat is next.
Going into this season, I feel like there's a lot of unfinished business from last season. At the end of the day, my goal is to be the world champion, and I'm not going to always be fully satisfied unless I'm on the top spot.
I'm playing simulator till like 1 a.m. and I'm going to field at like 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. I'm practicing 3 times more than other people.
I'm planning to pick up where I left off at last year's Vegas Championship race. Last year was just about survival. This year I'm here to win.
I'm very good at being there no matter what the pressure is, no matter how many upsets there are. You can always count on a good race for me. 7 years of 707, you know?
I'm pretty confident. I know I can do it. I'm training for this. I'm practicing for this, like every day.
I'm fully expecting that I'm going to be competing for the top this season, especially with hybrid and everything. It's a really unique skill set required to do well. I think I'm uniquely positioned to excel at everything that we're going to be doing this year.
Being honest, I just want to win. I don't care if I have to train every single day at 6 a.m. I will do anything just to win.
I feel confident in my abilities to beat a lot of the pilots. I've been putting in a lot of work and a lot of practice, so I just feel confident.
These guys literally got their names by racing me. This isn't the first time I've raced them. I'm not really scared to race anybody.
The opportunity to be here is like such a privilege. So many pilots would wish to be here. I really want to show that I'm worthy.
I'm 100% committed that I will win every race out there. So if you like to root for a winner, then you probably should root for me.
To be an elite drone racer is a mindset. It's I need to be there. It's not I want to be there. It's not I hope to be there. It's I need to be there. I do deserve to be in DRL. The amount of time I put in should speak for itself.
The Drone Racing League, brought to you by Algorand, the world's first blockchain designed for the future of finance. By riggaming.com, gear up, get good. And by the U.S. Air Force, aim high. Welcome back to Level 10 Kingdom. It is finally time for the Golden Heat. 3 pilots are here. Heads up, Alex FPV, Amari. TK, I don't know about you, but for 2 minutes during that break, I have just been smiling because I cannot wait, number 1, to watch this race, but number 2, to hear who you're going to pick. Who wins this thing?
Well, put the pressure on, I see, okay? Look, momentum is a huge factor. Attitude is a huge factor, and your mental game is just gigantic, right? Alex had a couple of firsts there in Heat 4 and 5, but in Heat 6, he had a little mistake. I think that's going to disrupt that momentum, and since Heads Up got that win, he's going to try to carry that into the Golden Heat.
Well, let's bring back our guy that knows a thing or two about racing in the Golden Heat, 2018 DRL World Champion Paul Nurkla. Nurk, where do you see this race? What parts of the course is it going to be won or lost?
From what I've been watching, I've seen two major differentiating points. First of all, we have the vertical U-turn. This seems to be Alex's element. He's able to make that fast. He's able to come out of it really fast. But then the exact next obstacle, the next element, is the Diamond Gate. And for whatever reason, and I'm still trying to figure it out, but Heads Up is able to come through that with a lot of momentum and to make that beeline to the Dragonfly Roof Gate faster than anyone else on the track. So we're going to be watching really closely on those two elements of the course to see how they can take advantage of their skills in both of them.
Paul, I got to ask you, you've lived this. How do you mentally prepare for a race of this magnitude?
Well, luckily I had a chance to race here at Championship Kingdom, and so this is a venue that I know well. But what these guys are going through right now is figuring out how to carry that momentum and how to get their mental aspect up there, right? Alex is just coming off of a crash that gave Heads Up the opportunity to come back. So there's going to be this kind of working back and forth of figuring out how do I get myself back into that winning mentality and how do I push myself into that. And if I'm in Amari's shoes, I'm going to be talking a lot of trash. I'm going to be trying to get those guys to stop thinking about the fact that, hey, we're winning every heat. We've got this, and get them to focus on, oh, crap, Amari might actually be working to come back and to be racing. So, there's a lot of different opportunities. Heads Up can capitalize on his wins. Alex needs to recover from his crash, and Amari should be talking a lot of trash right now.
All right, guys, enough prognosticating. Let's get to it. Finals, Golden Heat. One more time to decide who will rule the kingdom. They're through that Sky Gate. Now they'll drop down to the City Gate. Let's start talking who's in the lead. Alex, FPV in blue in front of Amari in white.
It's about now that Heads Up is starting to realize that 6th place starting podium is really hurtful, but he's got some time to make up for it.
Well, he's got a surge right there. He was in second briefly. Now he does, but Amari trying to keep him at bay as they're through that Allianz Penegate. Now they go into the switchback. All Alex FPV. He's been in front from the start as they go through the T-Mobile tunnel and up to the Sky Gate yet again. On to lap number 2. Alex in the lead.
Craig, I'm starting to notice little tiny micro movements from Heads Up where he's starting to close the gap between him and Alex, and that's what he's supposed to do through each one of these turns. String them together and close it little by little to get it in the end.
Well, Nurk mentioned that Diamond Gate, no problem there as they're up to the Dragonfly. No! Look at that! Alex is gone! Never make a mistake in the Golden Heat. Heads Up, he's in front. Amari in second. Alex gifted this one to his good friend Heads Up, as Heads Up will win another level. After winning 3, that's his 4th level win of the season.
Good run.
Very good run.
Shut up.
Dude, I can't believe that.
Alex, you were out, man. I respect that, dude.
Wow.
Dude,
Alex
was gone. You were gone, bro.
Alex,
dude, you were
gone.
so far
Oh, yes. What did you hit? The top
Good
of the
guys.
Dragonfly Gate?
He
Number
hit
2?
the Dragonfly Gate, yeah.
Fly Gate.
Oh my gosh.
Did you get it a little too hard?
Was it immediately blown up drone?
Oh, yeah. Blew her up.
Heads Up, congratulations, you're a level 10 champion, but not without a little bit of drama, was there?
Yeah, no, there was definitely some drama. I took the first 3 heats of finals, and then I kind of put a chip on Alex's shoulder, and that was somewhat intentional. I knew it would. He wouldn't like it if I kind of threw his name out there. So he came in. He got in those next couple wins, and then in that final, that Golden Heat, he had me. He definitely did, and I was ready to accept that 2nd place. But I kept on pushing. And then in that Dragonfly Gate, unfortunately, he just clipped that lower lip, and I just held it together and was able to take home the win. So I'm excited, but great race by Alex. He had an amazing run.
You mentioned that you kept on pushing, and also the season standings have changed. Tell me what's happened there.
Well, I'm not very good at math, but from my calculations, I should have just passed Vanover, gone up to first in the season, and I'm pumped about that.
Congratulations.
Every Golden Heat is big, but as Layla just hinted at, this one's huge because of the overall season ramifications. Heads Up, just doing his job. He wins in 115.368.
Well, at the start of the second lap of this race, I was starting to roll out that checkered flag for Alex. He had a nice, strong, consistent lead over Heads Up FPV. He took advantage of the places where he was fast, and he worked his way through the places where he could potentially have an accident. And then, just like he did in the last heat, he had a crash. He let that kind of get into his head, and this caused him to let Heads Up into the lead. Now we can see Amari's perspective of Heads Up, trying to chase him down, trying to bring him in, but Heads Up is working his way to the finish. He knows that he's putting himself into the championship lead, and this is such a huge opportunity for him to come home and take a win here at Kingdom.
Your level 10 podium. Heads Up, Amari in second, Alex FPV in third. Guys, as we quickly wrap this all up, Paul, I want to go to you first because you talked about the points of the course. How surprised were you to see Alex crash at that Dragonfly roof gate?
You know, that was a place that nobody had crashed yet, and it's crazy to see that he took advantage of the places where he was fast, worked his way through the places where he made mistakes, and then what happened? I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, you get that close to the limits, and you're riding that fine line, and that's all it takes is just one little clip. You can't make those mistakes around the pros.
TK, you talked about it a lot, right? Don't give Heads Up any momentum. He certainly has it now.
He absolutely does, and that's just only going to light a fire behind his eyes through the rest of the season, and is not what the other pilots want.
Well, Heads Up has conquered them all. The Kingdom is his, guys. What a level. Let's look at those season standings. Heads Up is indeed the overall season leader now. 66 points, 9 points in front of Vanover. Alex FPV, 39 points, sitting in third. And look at Amari. He is up to fourth with 32. Well, that does it for Level 10 Kingdom. Congrats again to Heads Up on his fourth win of the season. Watch the 2021 DRL World Championship season Wednesday nights on NBCSN and Twitter at 8 p.m. Eastern, and keep up with DRL all year long on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. For Tony Niddle, Lele Annali, Paul Nurkla, and our entire crew, I'm Craig Hummer. Thanks for watching.
This is a copyrighted broadcast of Drone Racing League Incorporated and may not be transmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of Drone Racing League Incorporated.